Have you ever wanted to create your own English light novel, but you don't know how or even where to begin? In this video, we'll be discussing 10 key tricks to creating an amazing start to your light novel, which you can apply to any story that you want to tell. I hope you enjoy this video and it helps you turn your light novel into a masterpiece. So let's take a look at the 10 key tricks to starting your light novel this year. First of all, what is a light novel? A light novel contains about 50,000 words, similar to the size of a novella. In Japan, they are produced in bunkobon format, which is A6 size, which is 4.1 inches by 5.8 inches. However, once they are translated to English, they can vary in size. While many light novels are published as books, many are first printed in anthology magazines before being compiled into book format. New installments will usually be released every 3 to 9 months. Light novels will almost always contain manga-style artwork alongside the writing, usually up to 12 illustrations per book, but this can vary as well. Light novels in English are becoming more and more popular all the time and are known as OELN, or Original English Light Novel. There are more opportunities now than ever to create your light novel, even if you aren't from Japan. There are more light novel writing competitions that you can enter to have the chance of having your light novel potentially published in Japan, but there are also other opportunities such as being able to upload your light novels online or even self-publish your light novels. So there's so many more opportunities now than ever before. So how do you make your light novel a success this year? First of all, I recommend you find an idea with a twist. Create your idea, but find a way to add a twist or an unexpected element. Finding an idea with a twist can help you to create a unique idea that will make your original English light novel stand out from others. One of the best ways to create a good English light novel is to find an idea that makes your story unique and helps you to stand out. I would recommend looking at other light novels and thinking about the ideas and concepts that they would usually show, and think about how you can take those ideas and show them in a unique way in your book. Next, I recommend you start with your characters. Start with understanding your characters. Know their basic design, personality, likes, dislikes, traits, hobbies, and backstory. Basically, get to know everything about your characters before you begin. Getting to know your characters can help you to understand how they would act in your light novel, and this makes it much easier to write your story. Your characters are at the core of your light novel story. They are the ones who are telling that story and presenting that story. So understanding your characters can help you to make that story a success. You need to understand how characters would interact and how they would see that world. If you need any help at all creating your characters, you may check out my free character creation template, which is available on my website. I've left a link to it in the description box down below. I use this template for writing my characters too, and it always helps me to think about my characters in ways I didn't think about them before. Next, I recommend you find an obstacle. To make your story more interesting, including obstacles can help to provide more challenges for your character as they work towards their goals. First of all, find your main character's goal and then create a main obstacle that will prevent them from getting there too quickly. Creating obstacles in your story can make it way more interesting as your character works towards their goals. As your character is working towards their goals, they may have to overcome these obstacles in order to get to where they need to be, and this can not only help to make it more interesting as they go on their journey, but it can also create more character development, because every time they have to challenge themselves more, they can become closer to the character they need to be by the end of your story. Do your research. Analyze other light novels and consider what you can do to make your book even a little bit different. Reading other books with an analytical focus can help you to tell your stories in new ways. I personally think this is one of the best techniques because you can learn so much from reading other stories or even watching other anime or even movies if you look at these things with an analytical focus. If you look at these stories and while you're reading them, you think about how the author may have written certain things or how certain characters are presented, you can end up creating your stories in more unique ways. You can learn the techniques that work for other authors and consider how you can apply the techniques that you enjoy the most to the stories that you want to create. Also, consider the consequences. Create a situation with a strong consequence for failing. Adding a good consequence will make it more powerful when your character works towards their goals. The potential for failing will make it more important that they succeed. When you create your characters, it's always important to not only consider the goal, but also consider the consequences that would happen if they fail to achieve the goal. and it's likely in your story that they will achieve this goal anyway, but adding that consequence will make it more important that they succeed, and it will create this sense of urgency that will make it more exciting to watch your character as they go on their journey. Allow your characters to tell the story. Consider your character's perspective and understand how they would proceed in the story. Understanding your character can help you to write your book in a more authentic way. As we mentioned before, your characters are at the core of your story. They are the ones who are telling the story. So by understanding your characters better, you can present that story in a more natural and believable way. So I highly recommend that when you create your story, you understand your characters first. Find qualities you like in other light novels. As you read other light novels, focus on the qualities that you like about each of them and make note of these qualities. Understanding what you like in other light novels can help you to know what you want to focus on through your book. So basically choose 5 light novels and then write a quality that you like the most in each of those light novels. Focusing on the qualities that you like in other books can help you to understand what qualities you want to focus on in your book. And it can make it easier to understand how those qualities are presented in a book. Whether it is a certain setting that you like, a certain way that a character is presented, a certain aspect of the storytelling, whichever part it is, write down the qualities that you like the most about the book, and then think about how you can apply those unique qualities to a story that you want to create. Also, try and work backwards. Find a scene you're excited to write about and write that scene first, and then work backwards to fill in the gaps. Sometimes when I'm really excited to work on a scene, I find it hard to focus on anything else. So sometimes it can really help if I write the scene first, and then I may have a better idea of what needs to come before that scene. It can be a lot harder to work towards the scene if you're really excited about this scene, but you want to write these scenes here first, and it can be a little bit distracting. So it may help if you write that scene first and then fill in the gaps, because once you write that scene, you may have a better idea of what needs to come before that scene. Write the major points first. When you're planning out your story, you may wish to write the most important parts and then fill in the gaps later. This is similar to the previous tip, but in this part, I recommend making dot points of all of the most important parts of your story, the major points, and then filling in the gaps, because you may have a good idea of the main scenes that you want to happen, but you may not be sure of the little scenes that happen to connect them. So if you make note of the most important scenes and then you make notes about the scenes that happen to connect it, it may be easier to understand what needs to happen in those scenes in order to connect it in the best possible way. Write a little bit every day. Every little bit counts. It may not seem like it, but even if you write 100 words a day or even more, it does not matter how many you write per day. What matters is you being consistent. This is the key to being able to create your light novel. It's important to be consistent and not get too overwhelmed with creating really big goals straight away. Start small and work your way up to bigger goals, and you'll be creating your light novel faster than you may think. Thank you so much for joining me in today's video. I really hope you enjoyed it. If you did, please let me know in the comment section down below. Let me know about how you're creating the beginning of your light novel. I would love to hear your thoughts, and I'm sure others would love to hear your thoughts also. Feel free to chat with me on any of my social media at @MidnightXcross, because I always enjoy hearing from you. Again, thank you so much for watching. I hope you have an amazing day, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye!